welcome to the people and your energy. Welcome to this moment in time. At this point, we are looking at the idea of a relationship, and we have considered carefully relationship with self. We need to consider carefully relationship with someone else. As you begin to evolve yourself and understand who you are, become aware of your energy inside, you need to test it. You need to allow yourself an experience that will test it, that gives you an opportunity to mingle your frequency with another. This experience is often termed the relationship, but all connections with energy are relationships. You have often a person in front of you providing you with the lessons, confronting you with the lessons, supplying you with the lessons, and many times this is overlooked. It is easy to be aware that you have in front of you faults, situations, blame, all belonging to that person. But inside you, you are not often aware it also belongs to you. The learning is for you. You create in your dimensions relationships that have specific learning. They are detailed in their approach and allow you to focus on identities that are often all-consuming in society. Many people focus on marriage, an entity in a word, trying to establish whole lives according to the word. Some do well to maintain the principles of the word, and yet others do not even try. This is a test or learning about applying yourself and another to a principle, to an ideal that is established by other people and by yourself. It's like saying you have never done something before. Can we give it a go? And how long do you think we can survive? It's like saying that. And yet, in its own way, marriage is often created as Olga, a demon, an entity that has barbs, repercussions, and occurrences that were never really expected prior to entering into holding hands. It's an entity, a word, that binds people to hold hands despite the desire to move apart. And it's a word maintained by pressure, the pressure of others around to continue to try. So the principle is established in this word, and the participants maneuver their energy to learn what the word represents. And that is all it is. A lesson. In the passing of an individual, you have another lesson. A relationship changes. You are able to determine an individual has gone. You are challenged by what is left, who you are, how you function. You are given the opportunity to relate to the individual in another way, as a memory or an idea. It is a learning, a condition that provides important learning. It is an example of universal learning. For many times in life, something does go, does disappear. It is no different if the something is another human. Yet, in the mind of those left behind, it is extremely different. It is far more important, far more exhausting. That that is only because in the nature of relationships one with another, humans have decided that partnership is an ultimate relationship. What if friendship was the ultimate relationship? How would life be if all people were friends, exchanging energy that was common, considerate, positive, allowing an individual to know truth, for no demands or expectations necessarily needed to be imposed? What if friendship was the ultimate? What determines that partnership is considered to be most important? The desire for greed, to hold the energy of one person inside your space as long as possible? To prove to others you have achieved something that many have not? What is the desire to make the principle of partnership beyond reproach greater than all other relationships where one joins with another? Why would two people join? In the energy of one, you have the ability to be able to do all that you can do. Combine with another person and you have the ability to do more than one can do. And if you maintain the independence of two singular energy and combine it, you have the ability to use the multiplier effect and achieve the power of Sri. You can do more when you hold hands in your energy with another person. You can share ideas and energy. You can create ideas and energy from the sharing. You can create momentum in making something happen in life. For two people, pushing energy, providing energy, creates bulk. That's why you have more than one at times. The different conditions allow you to achieve different possibilities, often quicker. But there is always a lesson that asks you to look at yourself when you have a friend, a partner, another person. You always must focus on yourself to maintain a partnership, a friendship, or relationship of two. Don't be naive in thinking by looking at the relationship and allowing yourself to be that you have won in life. All you have done is chosen not to be aware of the lesson you are learning and allow the concept of relationship to be greater than the individuals inside it. As you walk hand in hand with the energy of another, you have a mirror to yourself, a reflection of what you like and what you don't like, a multiplier to allow you to achieve more than you, and the basis to be able to test concepts that often are unable to be established in a singular world. You hold hands to learn about yourself and use others to learn these lessons. And it is only through wisdom, the wisdom of big groups like society, that the ideas of partnership and marriage and death have become overwhelming, overbearing, and overly important in the thinking of those individuals who are in them. A relationship with another is a relationship of your energy with another, nothing more. Two energies combined to learn a little more, maybe. Nothing more. This has been your time. Welcome to the people and your comment. The ability to be able to recognize a relationship is the ability to be able to recognize that someone or something stands in front of you teaching you something. If you are aware of what goes on with another person, you have a relationship. All relationships are the combination of energy between two people or more than one situation. It could be that we extend this and allow more people to be involved shortly, but tonight one is enough. You have relationship and energy, and yet you have determined in your own mind a relationship is exclusively an intimate partnership. You have determined, not the energy. Any interaction between individuals is a relationship. All things that combine two people in an interaction are relationships. You can't have relationships and friendships as being different. A friendship is a relationship. And yet you do determine it to be like this. This is one reason it is difficult for you to be able to assess how your relationship is working, to be aware of the nature of the relationship or the energy in the relationship. Confining it to one particular category of interaction is determining that the energy is totally boxed into one concept. Allow yourself to pull back the blinkers a little and consider relationships to be the interaction of energy with another or a condition. Would you like to ask a question?
So this is your opportunity for any things that we've been saying.
What's your division between what's your gap between?
You can only see a division if you yourself create it in your mind. There is barriers between energy created by individuals who interact. Many of these barriers are determined by the rules of the collective individuals. The appropriateness of actions or intimacy is often maintained by these rules. So a little piece of paper allows you to create divisions. In a human form, there is a need to understand. To understand is to determine that one particular aspect is distinctly different from something else. That principle, understanding, creates division. Once you have distinctions, you have divisive information. Yet you allude to the idea of energy that is distinctly different and almost opposing. That is another concept, a concept of scientific thinking. If you cannot find commonality, you find difference. And if you cannot explain it in commonality, explain it in difference. So it has been asserted that it's important in understanding to be able to explain things, particularly in relationships. And if you can't find common threads and factors in your explanation, it is important to determine distinctions. Those distinctions create division. Once you have associated an individual with an age or a gender, you have created a division, a defining line. So you can see it is the way human has looked at relationships that has created division. And the way they maintain, the way they look at them, will maintain division. Another question.
Trying why is it that sometimes with some people you just feel an immediate heart connection, and others you don't really get past the head connection?
Okay. One is you have a feeling, and the other is you have a thought. The only difference is your information was generated from a sensation rather than an idea. Both have a connection to another individual. You have only defined the nature of that connection. But in your assumption, you have also defined, you consider heart connection greater than mind. Is this true?
Yes.
Is it true that heart connection is greater than mind?
Depends on the situation, really.
Okay, so it was not true. What is greater than mind is mind and heart connection. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Or heart and mind connection, or whole connection. What is greater is more, not something different. Okay. So to challenge your idea, when you have just a mind connection, see if you can feel a connection as well. And when you have feeling, see if you can think about it. And both ways create a greater connection so that you learn the lesson quickly. Okay? Good.
Jonathan, I want to know about lessons.
Yes?
And why they come back. And some of them are more painful than others, but they still continue to come.
Okay. It's not hard. If you have a lesson and you don't understand, you get a little desperate in the brain. And if your brain does not understand, it desperately searches for some other way to acknowledge an answer. So it finds an emotion to stir up any form of answer to the situation. So what better way to give you an awakening or an awareness than to give you a pain, to give you hurt? So if you don't wake up, you get pain. If you don't know what you are looking at, if you are not aware of what is in front of you, you will get hurt. Hurt, however, is transforming. Because when you have felt the pain, not only have you thought about what went on, but you also felt it. So it has a much greater emphasis. And those people who hurt will grow awareness much greater than those who have not felt any pain. So don't think because you hurt and others don't, that you are being told off. You are growing more aware of yourself. Those people who don't feel pain won't know what pain is when it does hurt them. And so they will have to wait for the lesson of hurt. You've already done it. You know just what it's like, and you know how it is created and how it affects you. So the awareness is huge when you hurt.
So is the greater the hurt, the greater the lesson?
Sometimes, if you're not wake up, got to prod you harder. Sometimes it's your desire to really want to know what's going on, to really want to change my pattern. They really want to give you the greater hurt, but you don't really want to hurt like that. So if you have intense energy, you will have greater pain. If you have an intense desire to learn from what you are experiencing, you will experience greater intensity of any form of sensation. Pain is just one of those. Another question?
Will you complete something? Yeah. Do you have another layer?
No, I'm just thinking about the death. Like they say, a lesson. The Chiron was saying that you learn, you feel that pain or you're hurt and you learn from that.
Okay, I need to help you. Because you have just highlighted maybe how you are not learning. To learn is not necessarily understanding. Understanding is to put the energy into mind. You can only understand when it's in a box in your brain. To learn is to be aware, to associate your awakening to a condition or situation, an experience. If you learn from a situation, you may learn in energy beyond your brain. You may have emotions, feelings that are able to assimilate the situation and give you a recognition. Those emotions will support you in similar situations to follow. Learning is not necessarily understanding. So don't try to understand, just learn it from me. Okay? If you take in any information, any sensation, it will determine its own recognition. If it is sufficient, it will go calm. If it is not, it will search for further awareness and often stimulate you when it has concluded this awareness and you have learned from it. All you have to do is follow yourself. Are you in turmoil in your energy and still not settled, or are you settled? Each time you feel settled, you have learned what you need to learn. Another question?
You said earlier about, I sort of didn't quite understand it, you were talking about one and one, and you were talking about making three, and
Okay, multiplier?
Yeah, can you just...
Okay. You sit in the corner by yourself, asked to create a party. You left alone for an hour. After a while, the ideas run out. Then I have over here 2 people asked to create the same party. they share with each other ideas. As they share the ideas, they stimulate each other to create an abundance of ideas. This abundance of ideas is often more, energetically more, than one person sitting in a corner. If you add the energy of another into the energy of your own dimensions, you will stimulate your own energy, creating a much more heightened awareness of self. That self and that potential in self is able then to express itself. So when you combine, you have a multiplier effect. Stand alone, you are limited by your own perceptions. Some people will extend this concept and utilize the energy of the universe, creating a relationship with the universe, so they never stand alone. You can understand why. For if you have more than one, you are able to multiply the energy of the interaction and have a greater abundance of awareness and expression of awareness. Another question?
What's it like for in relationships in the spirit world?
What is the need for a relationship in the spirit world? If you are energy, and that is all you are, all you need to be is energy. There is no need to have a relationship.
Why do you come and talk to us?
Because you have a desire to become aware of the nature of human form. That human form is involved in relationships. You don't come here to be aware of what is not around you, but of yourself. You are having a relationship with me to learn about you, not about me. I told you before.
What are you learning about yourself?
What am I learning about myself? Where is myself? Myself. What is self? Don't have self. Can't learn about what don't have. I know that it's difficult to understand, but just learn from it, okay? Feel it. What is the nature? I'll give you a little awareness, help you. What is the nature of partnership? Partnership is two parts on a ship. Your question?
Do spirits actively seek to have relationships with people in the living world, or is it always the people in the living world calling in the spirit for the relationship?
Both. Initially, a spirit person has the vibration entangled in human life form that they have just left. Entangled in that form is also the emotions and the memories of that life form. Some spirit will desire to maintain the frequency and the vibration as long as possible. They will entertain the idea of trying to stay close to where they once were. Similarly, some human form will entertain the idea of memory being a reality and want the spirit form to be close as well, to fulfill the last moments of their understanding. Once there is established awareness, once there is acceptance, then there is no desire to maintain or hold on to the vibration of humanism. The relationship between energy, between the forms of energy, becomes energetic and is not perceived or not functions in a way that is physical. So you lose the ability to be able to see them, to hear them, and you gain the awareness that you know they are there. And in your sensitivity as a human form, you can often interpret signals of their closeness as sensations of tears, coldness, similar feelings that you may have that are distinct from other aspects of your day, often are related to the individual you have lost. As the progression occurs more and more, the vibration has a desire to blend into all vibration, to lose the form of its individuality and the form of humanness. So, soon enough, the spirit becomes one spirit, one source. Another question?
So if you've had a relationship with someone who has been passed, if a spirit is contacting you in the living world, are they contacting you to deliver messages that they were unable to deliver for whatever reason when they were also in the living world?
No, for they will have delivered them in the living world. They contact you because they desire to give you a greater awareness now that they are in another world. And you desire to have a greater awareness of them now that they are in another world. What occurs in this world occurs in the moment they are in this world. And there is all conclusion in that moment. Once you have learned from the moment, though, there is often another question that needs answering. And they have gone. So they must answer from the telephone in the sky. You know what it's like when you have just spoken to your friend but forgot one thing. Or you have just walked away, remembered or worked out one more thing. It's the same. Another question?
We were talking before about not many men here. If we're here in this room...
What is the problem? Not many men.
Yeah, I know, there is no problem.
You are talking about not many men. There is sufficient men here.
No, that's not the question, it's a start.
Okay.
We're here becoming aware, we need to become aware of ourselves, so we're changing our energy.
Yes.
They were concerned there weren't enough men, but if we change our energy...
You are concerned there's not enough men.
No, I'm not meaning.
You are talking for them.
Correcting in.
Okay.
We want people to become aware, and gradually more and more people will.
So why does it have to be a man?
It doesn't have to be, that was just what they were saying.
So what was your question?
My question is, it doesn't have to be a worry, is it right? If we are tuning our own energy into this, will we attract other people with
Yes.
the same energy? And it will grow, and
Yes.
more and more people will come into our energy level. So it won't be a problem. Is that correct?
There was never a problem.
Yeah.
That is correct. Okay. Let's take the components of your conversation and let's give you some clarity. As you are aware of a lesson, an understanding, an awakening occurs, you vibrate this in empathy. It will attract exposure to a greater lesson. That is often sharing with other people. Being able to test what you know, understand, are aware of, and extend it. So of course, if you are constantly awakening to self, you will constantly attract more awakening. Does it need to be a man? Why are you convinced that men need to change? Man is a man. Condition of that man is exactly right for that situation. But you are trying to make a man like you. You are not a man. Why does it have to be one type of person that is attracted to you? You would wish it was a man. Why? You have people around you. They are attracted to the energy. These are the people to work with these ideas. You don't need to determine it must be someone close to you. It must be a man. It must be your mother or father. The wish to try and make someone like you is something you need to work with. For if you try to make everyone like you, no one would be like anyone else. All of you would think the same and be the same, at the same moment in the same space, trying to occupy the same soul. A man is a man for a reason. And if the man is not in this room, that is also appropriate. The lesson is you are in this room. What are you going to do with your awareness? Try to chase men? Or just be here and open your energy, radiating more and more awareness and attracting more and more awareness? Don't think the only relationship is between one person and another in partnership. A relationship is just two energies. If you were to change the outlook of many societies and to adopt the principle of friendship, you would find there was not such a desire to focus energy on fulfilling a little idea, and more energy could be utilized to awaken those who are in the communities to themselves, to opportunities, to the multiplier effect. This world could become enlightened. Confining people to following ideas that are very restrictive turns out the light. That's why you are here. Not to find a man, but to find yourself. You don't need a man to find yourself. If you touch yourself, you will find yourself. Another question?
We have time for one more in this segment and then we'll have a quick break.
I hear you talking about a relationship equals two energies. What comes up for me is that there also needs to be emotion in that for a relationship to happen. Does that make sense?
Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Can you understand it?
It makes sense for me.
Okay. Good. Do you have to have emotion to have a relationship? The answer is no. You have to have emotion because you like to feel. So, if you don't feel, you are having a good relationship with a situation or a person. You feel a sense of inadequacy in the relationship. So that is the way you have attributed your understanding and your awareness to the energy of sharing with another, interacting with another. You don't, however, have to have emotion to have an interaction. You can have just a thought. You can have an intuition. Imagine you lie in bed or sit in a seat and think about a person who lives in another country. That is a relationship of energy. It might not have emotion and might be just a vision and intuition. It is still significant learning. So you require feeling, and you will utilize feeling to attribute how significant the lesson is to you. Lessons without feeling are considered inconsiderable. lessons with feeling great. That is your determining factor. That is not everyone's determining factor, nor is it an achieved ability for other people to associate lessons of interacting energy with emotion. Many people, men, do not use emotion effectively to assess the interactive relationship. They think about it. And of course, if you associate emotion and they are thought, there is inadequacy. You feel they are inadequate and they can't understand you. Okay? Has that helped you? We have a question.
Well, we're going to have a little break now,
Okay.
and then we'll come back for a bigger round of questions. Okay?
Okay. So now we have extended the idea of a relationship in the interacting of energy. And we have allowed the significance of lessons and mirrors to come into the picture. We have also avoided quite cleverly the concept that a partnership is the only type of relationship. You have done well so far. This has been your time.